This is Dr. Frederick. Just a few comments about these values. The question was, which one of these values could take on a negative value? And the answer is that the mean, the median, the mode, and the correlation can all take on negative values. How could that be? Well, first of all, the mean, median, and mode take on the values of our data. So let's say that we're taking the average or the daily highs in Springfield, Missouri recently, which is where I live. And it's, something like this, very cold. I'm exaggerating just slightly, but we were below zero, and that's very unusual for us. Something like that, negative 88 or something. So if our data are negative, well, what's the average value here? The mean is going to be negative. The middle value, the median, is obviously one of these negative numbers. And here let's put in a value that occurs more than once. The negative 12 is the mode. So obviously each of those could take on a negative value. Well, how about a correlation? Well, the range of a correlation is from -1 to 1. And a very strong correlation is -1. A very strong correlation is 1. And so those are the extremes, 1 and -1. 0 is no correlation at all. So we have negative correlations all the time, and we're just looking at the magnitude of the number to determine the strength of the correlation, and then the sign just tells us the direction of the correlation. So which values cannot take on negative values? It would be the standard deviation and the variance. And why is that? Well, if we go back and look at a recent example, well, to compute the variance means that we find deviations, all of which can take on negative values or positive, but we square them, and there are no negative values here in the squared deviation. So the mean, the standard deviation, the variance are always the square root of a positive number, and we always take that to be positive. Therefore, the standard deviation and the variance cannot take on negative values.